Imagine this, you hear a roar coming down your street and it sounds like the glorious six-cylinder from a Porsche. You wait in anticipation to be blessed with the horizontally opposed goodness flyby. As the car finally comes into view, you do get blessed with a six-cylinder engine car, but it was not the one you were expecting. Instead, it's a Subaru SVX ripping down the street wide open throttle. Subaru is widely known for its four-cylinder boxer motors, most notably the EJ series and the FA series. However, these motors often take the spotlight from the six-cylinder boxer motors Subaru also produced, which I think deserves a little more attention. Hi friends, I'm Sepp, welcome back to a new video. Today we are talking about Subaru's flat six motors and the cars it came in. If you are new to the channel, I talk about all things car related in my videos and I try to pump out a new video every week. So feel free to subscribe to my channel so you get your weekly dose of YouTube car content. Subaru debuted its first six-cylinder boxer motor in 1987 called the ER27, intended to be a refined luxury engine with improved power over the four-cylinder boxer EA82T. This 2.7-liter engine pushed a staggering 150 horsepower and 156 foot-pounds of torque, powering the Subaru XT6. The XT6 is a two-door coupe with exterior styling changes that greatly departed from Subaru's curvy and voluptuous car bodies from the 1970s. It had sharp angles, squared-off body lines, and pop-up headlights. Very 80s-esque, but it was not only for aesthetics, for it had a ridiculously low coefficient of drag at 0.29. For comparison, the Porsche 924 from around the same time had a drag coefficient of 0.34. Some notable features this car came with include pneumatic adjustable suspension, digital dashboard, and a part-time all-wheel drive system engaged by pressing a button on the shifter. Very cool and quirky, as Doug DeMuro would say. The ER27 was succeeded by the EG33, a 3.3-liter six-cylinder variant of its four-cylinder counterpart, the EJ22. Sharing the same bore and stroke as the EJ series motor, rated at 240 horsepower and 228 foot-pounds of torque, the EG33 was Subaru's largest naturally aspirated engine at the time. Well, except for the Subaru 1235, which is a 3.5-liter flat 12 engine designed for Formula 1 racing. But I might get into that in a different video, so we'll save that behemoth of an engine for another time. This significant jump in power was fitting for the even sleeker Subaru Alcyon SVX, debuting in 1991 and designed by this dude, Giorgetto Giugiaro, an Italian car designer who has an impressive portfolio of car designs such as the BMW M1, Volkswagen Golf Mark I, and the DMC DeLorean. A quick fun fact, the word Alcyon is the name of the brightest star in the Pleiades constellation, the star formation the Subaru logo is based off of. Anyways, this car featured glazed A-pillars providing excellent visibility, side windows that were formed by a heat process patented by Subaru, which although gave the SVX a cool fighter jet cockpit look, limited the window opening to only 2/3 of its total height. Other cool features include a two-tone paint scheme, electrically adjustable seats, keyless entry, and automatic seat belts. The SVX's EG33 power plant is a popular swap for Subaru enthusiasts, with a really good baseline power output as a naturally aspirated engine. Adding forced induction brings on power gains with ease. Additionally, the thickness of the cylinder walls are known to be fairly robust for handling higher horsepower applications, so this engine is sort of the poor man's Porsche engine once modified. With the futuristic looking design trends from the Subaru XT6 and the SVX, I wish I can report the next cars I mentioned continue that legacy, no pun intended. But unfortunately, Subaru has placed the EG33 successor, the EZ30, in the Outback and Legacy, both being very capable and versatile, but a far cry from being the sports coupes their engines were derived from. The EZ30 came in two variants, the EZ30 Mark I pushing 217 horsepower and 213 foot-pounds of torque, and the Mark II released in 2004, pushing 241 horsepower and 219 foot-pounds of torque. I'll focus on the Mark II variant as it was revamped with some technical goodies and available with a 6-speed manual transmission in the Subaru Legacy, making it the preferred engine swap out of the two. Being unofficially dubbed the EZ30R by Subi fans, this engine had some really good technical advancements compared to any of the previous six-cylinders Subaru produced. The compression ratio is 10:7:1 out of the factory, which is decently high, but not to the extent that it can't be fitted with a nice turbocharged setup. A welcome change that both the Mark I and II incorporate is the use of a timing chain in lieu of the pesky timing belts the previous generation 6-cylinders and EJ series engines are stuck with. Thanks to this timing chain setup, the engine is actually not too much larger than the 4-cylinder Boxer, so a drop-in swap should be fairly straightforward when it comes to the engine bay dimensions. In terms of direct performance upgrades, this engine has been designed with better airflow, and this was done with some simple and some complex methods. Firstly, there are 3 individual exhaust ports per head, providing better exhaust flow, whereas the Mark I variant only had 1 single exhaust port per head. The intake ports are much larger than the previous generation 6 cylinders, providing more air to the combustion chamber, meaning more power capabilities. Now, the complex addition to this engine is Subaru's active valve lift system to the intake cam, or the IAVLS. What this does is improve efficiency and performance by having 2 different cam profiles for the intake valves, one low, medium lift profile, and one high lift profile. At low engine speeds, the lower profile increases the speed of air rushing into the engine, pumping up the torque and power response. At higher engine speeds, the higher lift cam profile fully opens the intake valves, reducing resistance to incoming air, also promoting airflow into the engine. Conceptually, it's comparable to water flowing out of a garden hose. When the water is free flowing out of the hose, that would be the cam profile at high speeds with no air resistance, whereas at lower speeds, you can imagine the hose with a thumb obstructing the outlet, causing the water, or air in this case, to come out at a higher velocity into the combustion chamber. And get this, some sources say the IAVLS system is licensed design off Porsche's VarioCam system, which at a fundamental level does the exact same thing. Is this the secret Subaru X Porsche collab? This is not confirmed, but who knows, we can dream at least. One thing we know for sure did not come true is Subaru's prototype called the B11S. Unveiled in 2003 at the Geneva Motor Show, you might be thinking, I guess, well, what I'm thinking at least, this thing is hideous. I swear when I was in grade school, I drew a car sketch and the resemblance it has to this car is uncanny. But one silver lining is that the engine powering this unsightly thing on 4 wheels would be a version of the EZ30, a twin-turboed, pushing 394 horsepower and 406 foot-pounds of torque. Only if they could have brought back the STI with an engine like this. Again, we can dream. The last H6 Subaru engine, the EZ36, was released in 2007 in the Subaru Tribeca, another ugly car in my opinion. Pushing the displacement up to 3.6 liters, the bore and stroke of this engine is increased from the EZ30, with even more naturally aspirated power at 256 horsepower and 247 foot-pounds of torque. The cylinder walls are thinner to account for the increased engine size, but are not ideal for high horsepower numbers. Thinner walls could warp under extreme abuse if you plan on modifying this engine extensively. But one prime example of a modified EZ36 is Mighty Car Mods' Supergrams, a 2004 Liberty wagon, swapped with a turbocharged EZ36 pushing 400 wheel horsepower, one of my all-time favorite modified Subarus that sounds glorious. Have a quick listen. In 2019, the production of the 6-cylinder Subaru engines came to a close after being discontinued for the more efficient and powerful turbocharged FA24, a 4-cylinder BOXER introduced in the Ascent. Watch my previous video why I think this engine is actually really remarkable. Subaru produced 6-cylinder BOXER motors for nearly 3 decades, constantly improving them over time, and although they may not be as user-friendly in terms of aftermarket support compared to the EJ and FA series engines, they are capable of producing good power and with a nice exhaust can give you Porsche-like soundtracks. So instead of dreaming up a Porsche, just make your own Subaru version with any of the engines noted in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll catch you all on the next video. Take care.